Welcome, it's Chris Cupp. That's me. Frequently asked question every day. I told you I was going to get this out today, so feeling a little down, a little under the weather, but we're going to do this for you. We're going to do this. Okay, so today, let me pull up my handy dandy questionnaire. We have the questions going to be, actually it's on my other phone. Sorry guys. Hope you guys are having a good day today. And here are the questions. Okay, first question we have is going to be, all of my accounts are in my name. This is about debt settlement. The majority of our questions are on debt settlement, like I said in the last one, if you watched that. All the accounts are in my name. If I go through debt settlement, will my spouse's credit be impacted? If all the accounts are in just your name and your spouse isn't a co-applicant on any of them, your spouse, he or she, doesn't have to be in the program. You could just put yourself into the program. It does a couple things for you. It gives you the ability of keeping your spouse clean when it comes to the delinquencies and the defaults. Again, you're not worrying about your credit throughout this process. But once you actually fix the habits, the spending habits over the next 3 or 4 years while going through debt settlement, and you start using maybe credit as a tool in the future if you're able to, right? You will have the ability to do so no matter if you could do it on yourself too. You know, in 3 or 4 years from now, these credit card companies will start giving you, they'll start sending in offers for new credit cards right away just because they want to get you back into that hamster wheel of debt. Like I like to call it, the hamster wheel of debt. Next question. Can I enroll accounts that are in a zero interest balance transfer promo period? Yes. So there are some provisions because the credit card companies don't want to feel like it's been premeditated, especially like cash advances, balance transfers. So when you do a balance transfer or a cash advance, there has to be at least 6 payments that are towards that account. Reason being, sometimes credit card companies may feel it's premeditated. You did a cash advance, didn't pay anything towards it. They're more likely to sue you at that point. So the reality is that the process is for someone in a financial hardship. If you're taking cash advances, you want to let us know. Or if you're doing this on your own, just know that you probably want to pay about 6 minimum payments or 6 payments towards that debt before you go into default to leverage the strategy of debt settlement. So it's pretty important. It's good that good question there, so that someone can reference that too in the future if they decide to go into this program or do it on their own. The next questions are more along the lines of what can you enroll? Can I enroll payday loans or medical bill accounts or student loans or business debtor loans? Well, payday loans, no. There may be some companies out there that'll do it, and you may be able to actually go directly to them. But mostly payday loans are like $200 or $300, or anything below $500 within a debt settlement program usually gets left off for you to actually deal with. So the medical bill accounts, yeah, if it's in collections, it's always a case-by-case scenario. We'd definitely be able to enroll that. The tricky thing about medical bills is that you're usually not making a payment towards those debts on a monthly basis, right? So when you add in that amount of medical debt, the payment becomes a little bit of a factor because you're adding in whatever that medical debt is, and you're making payments towards it, right? You're making payments towards the program of debt settlement to save enough money to actually settle the debts. So I would assume it's going to be mostly based on what your affordability is to set the program up to be successful for you. Student loans, federal student loans, no. Those are backed by the government. You really can't do anything with those. You can go onto a website and they can just look up how to refinance my federal student loans on this awesome site. Let me give you the site. It's Google.com. Google.com. How do I refinance my federal student loans? And then do it yourself. Don't have anybody else do it for you. Just my opinion. It's very simple. You just got to fill out the information. It's an application, and then all of a sudden you may be able to get lower payments. You may be able to get some deferment. Just take a look at it. So, business debts and loans. If the business is in business, no. If the business is not in business, it's a case-by-case scenario. But yes, majority of the time, if that business is is just not doing any business anymore, we may be able to help you out with settling those accounts. So I have an actual list of accounts. Let me go over with you, just so you guys can know. Unacceptable debts, secure debts of any kind, like a house, a car, a motorcycle, anything that a creditor can come actually get the actual possession that's secured by. Not good to go through a debt settlement program or try to do the strategy of debt settlement. Accounts in active or pending litigation. That's why when you get into, start the process of understanding, hey, listen, I'm unable to actually afford to pay my debts back and I need to start using the strategy of debt settlement. It's better to do it earlier than later so you don't get into the pending litigation. It does happen while you're in the program and the process, but you always want to make sure that you're in a debt program or you're in the process before that actually happens. Federal student loans, unacceptable debt. SBA loans, which is the Small Business Administration loans, just don't settle on those. Timeshares, because they're not really actually owned. It's one of the biggest ripoffs in the world is timeshares. IRS taxes, we do not, but there are companies out there that actually help you with your tax debt if you're in a tax situation. Again, use that cool website, google.com. Alimony, child support, we do not help you out with. Federal credit unions. Sometimes a lot with credit unions, especially federal credit unions, there's a lot of things that are tied into those credit unions, whether that's if you're in the military and you have secret clearance, security clearance. A lot of that stuff ties in. Again, everyone's a case-by-case scenario, so if we do come across that, if you're actually looking to get into a program or enroll, we definitely would help you out to make sure that you're not putting in debts that are going to hurt you in the future or leaving out debts that we can't actually help you out with. There's a lot of other things in there. Casino debts, payday loans, back rent, overdraft accounts, debt from employers, federal credit unions of any kind, like we talked about. There's so many little different ones. It's always, I would say the majority of these main creditors are the ones that we can help you out with. You're talking about credit card accounts, retail unsecured accounts like Macy's, Nordstrom, things like that we can help out with. These are acceptable debts. Medical bills, repossessions. If you had your car repossessed and the car has been repossessed, it's been taken away, and there's a determination on the amount of money that's owed, we can definitely help out with that. Private student loans. The thing with private student loans, we don't want it to exceed a certain percentage of the amount of debt that you have. Usually it's about 40% of the debt, but since it's a private student loan, it really all depends on your affordability at that point, because a lot of people don't make payments towards their student loans, and when you want to add in that $20,000, $30,000, whatever that may be, it really ups the payment into the process of actually, saving the funds to settling the debt. So we do help out with USAA accounts. That's if you don't have any other loans or checking or savings accounts with USAA. Credit unions, again, we don't like this. We can, not federal credit unions, but actual credit unions, we can. We like to keep the percentage of the debt below 40% of what your total debt is, just to set you up for success. We do consolidated plus loans, Navy Federal Credit Union, and business debt, like we talked about before, just as long as the business is no longer operational. And Goldman Sachs and Marcus loans we do help out with also. When it comes to the actual program, usually there's a $7,500 minimum. Majority of people that we're talking to, of course, are usually a little bit higher than that because of the amount of credit card debt that's out there. A minimum draft payment into the program is about $300. Again, these are all things that it's going to be a case-by-case scenario for you. We want to make sure that, number one, we look at your cash flow to see exactly what you can afford and then fit something that's going to, number one, give you some payment relief. That's a huge thing for our clients. And also, wipe away all this interest that's going to happen when we go through this process. That's a huge thing also. So, yeah, those are the questions we have for today. So if you do have any other questions, feel free to text me, 619-332-1019. Let's see if I can get this video out for you guys right now. And because I know everyone is just waiting for these videos on a daily basis. I know. I just see all the views and stuff like that. People just waiting for these FAQ everyday videos. But the nice part about these videos is that it gives someone, if they do come across it, They can look at this video and they can look at the other videos that we've created on our platforms of Facebook and Instagram that you guys can go through. And you'll start noticing there's a theme. All the answers are the same because this is all they are. Like, it just comes down to, if you're struggling with your credit card debt payments, or you're just making your minimum payments, all you got to do is take a look at your statement, look at that minimum payment warning. It shows you it's going to take you 30 years to pay it down. That's unacceptable. If you can't afford more than your minimum payments, you need to do something. And a debt settlement strategy actually does work. And it gets you into a good situation. And when you're out of your debt in 3 or 4 years, just imagine 3 or 4 years from now. Imagine if you did this 3 or 4 years ago, you'd be completely out of the credit card debt that you're currently in. Just think about that. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I will hopefully get a video out for you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your rest of your Tuesday. Talk to you guys soon.